Hi, I'm Eric Moreau. I'd say the most important thing to me for security industry, that I get the most satisfaction out of, is knowing that I'm protecting assets, right? And everybody knows assets can be people, information, property, really kind of anything that's owned by a company of some sort or organization. Knowing that we can protect those against people trying to go in and do harm maliciously, and sometimes even non-malicious, right? There's accidental type things, natural disasters or accidents. And as a physical security practitioner and understanding, like, taking both sides, malicious and non-malicious, being able to secure those assets for organizations and companies is something that I truly take pride in. I started my physical security career as a salesperson. Did that for about a year and a half, almost 2 years, and I realized that I enjoy sales, but I also really enjoyed the technical aspects of security, how things were integrated and how things kind of worked together. So I left the sales position and really took a sales, more technical engineer type position, where I was still selling, but I was really designing and engineering systems for IT companies who were trying to get into the security industry. It kind of made sense at the time. It was around 2005, 2006. Made sense for those IT structured infrastructure type companies to try to transition into the security because cameras and systems were all starting to jump onto the network. My next job was at a mechanical, electrical, plumbing firm. They just had started probably about 10 years ago before I jumped on a technology group. So it was like an MEPT firm. I loved that job. It was really a great job that was strictly engineering, putting systems together, piecing everything, integrating it, making sure that the camera systems worked with the access control systems, that worked with the intrusion systems. So it really gave me that experience from a technical standpoint where, for lack of a better word, I got paid to learn how these things went together and then assembled them into drawings and specs and narratives and different things like that to make sure that they were designed for whatever the need was for the client, whether it was just a video system or they had a video system and an access control system and they needed them to integrate. So I'd stayed there for about 7 years and had a great experience there, and really that's probably a big baseline of where my knowledge came from when it came to security engineering and consulting. And then I left that position and went to an integrator, which some people may say that's a little an odd change, and it kind of was, but the integrator had developed a position that they called a solutions architect. So I was still doing the design, I was still engineering the systems, but I also did project management and implementation. What I'll tell you is that the experience at the integrator couldn't be more beneficial to what I'm doing today. When you're in engineering firms, a lot of what you do is theory and conceptual, and you have to rely on data sheets and what the products say they can do and what they can't do. When I was at the firm at the time, 3D renderings and things like that weren't really used a lot, and so the theory of getting a camera in one spot and saying, okay, this is what the view is going to be, it didn't always turn out that way. As an integrator, I had to actually implement it and say, okay, well, you said the camera is going to be here as the engineer. I'm telling you, when we put it there, it's not going to see what you want to see. And so understanding that and taking that experience with the engineering side, where I learned and understood the drawings and specs and how to issue documentations and things like that, I thought it was a perfect time in 2018 to join my father's company, Theseus Professional Services, as the lead for the physical security design division. There's a little bit of synergy, as Norm and I will talk a little bit later about, but you know, he had quality assurance, checking, auditing, different things like that. We on the engineering side always have to do quality checks on all of our documents just to make sure that they're you know, designed appropriately. And so bringing the experience I have had in the past with integrators, implementing it, you know, boots on the ground, understanding how things go in, to theory and design and engineering, bringing that all together for Theseus, it's helped us be able to really provide some documents that are going to be future thinking, not only for the systems, but also for the integrators. I've thought about it as an integrator sometimes and said, okay, well, we need a camera here. We know we want this view, but how do we actually get that camera there? And so we go through that as a team on our side and understanding and talking like, okay, well, there's a duct here, so we can't obviously just go straight up into the ceiling, or we can't go through the roof because we can't penetrate the membrane there. And so we've thought about those things and we've applied that knowledge to our documents so that when the integrator comes in, our hope is that when they bid it, they come in and they say, wow, we're at a good spot. We don't really have a whole lot to change from what's in there. Of course, there's going to be some changes. That's just the way construction is. We can't help if a duct changes or a conduit moves, or in particular, if like a wall changes or doors. But the good thing is that most of what we've looked at has been planned out for not only on the engineering and design side, but also thinking about the integrators and contractors. That basically takes us to what we're doing here at Theseus, as I mentioned, from 2018 until the present time. So Norm and my past experiences will help Theseus reach our goal, which is basically to ensure that the client gets what they want, the integrators come in, and the transition from our documents to theirs and implementation is as smooth as it can possibly be. And ultimately, at the end of the project, everybody's happy with what they have given and or have provided. So I have the PSP, which is the Physical Security Professional Certification that is administered by ASIS, and that is a really good certification for a design consultant or engineer. It gives a great baseline for threat and risk assessments. It also goes through things of integration for security technology, security planning and implementation, and then finally another piece to it is security project management. It really gives you a terrific baseline to build your career in consulting and engineering. Another thing that's great about the PSP is more and more RFPs are coming out that are requiring that someone has the PSP on staff. A person doesn't particularly have to be in the project, but has to be able to review it. A lot of federal RFPs are requiring it, so it's becoming more prominent in the industry for security. Again, it's one of those things, it's a baseline that gives the client a good feeling of someone knowing exactly what they're going to want when it comes to a physical security design. I've worked in many vertical markets. I've been in entertainment, stadiums. One of the ones I would say for that was I did a lot of work at the Rose Bowl, which was really cool. Healthcare market, I've done renovations, small pieces of projects for healthcare departments, all the way to campuses. So there's a lot of fulfillment there. And then I would say probably the other two would be on the federal side. I've done some really, really cool projects internationally. I've traveled, had an opportunity to go to Lithuania, Montevideo, and do some really good physical security design work. And those projects are really truly protecting people because we're a little bit more higher risk in some of those areas outside of the United States. And then I would say probably currently my biggest achievement and or project I get the most fulfillment with is working with a data center developer. They are developing data centers across the country, internationally as well. and we're building them for the future. And being able to protect those data centers is phenomenal. The things that they're doing with those, they've got AI data centers that are, the next generation, and the information that's stored in those. And so it's been a great experience to be able to work with the developer and truly secure those places for not only their organization but their clients, right? The developer has its own information, but then the clients that come in there. So it's been a wonderful project, and look forward to keep working with them on those. So what do I enjoy outside of work? It's funny that you ask. I always say my hobby is my kids' sports. So it takes up a lot of time during the week. I get off of work, I go to practice. It's at least 4 practices a week between 2 of my children. I have 2 young, well, not as young as they used to be. I wish they were a little younger, but one is about to be a senior this year, and then the other's a freshman, so not as young as I'd like. But they both play lacrosse, and one plays soccer, so we're running all over the place. And so, as I mentioned, it's the running joke. What's your hobby? Oh, it's my kids' sports. But I do enjoy watching football. Actually, my wife would tell you I can watch any sport on TV. I've been known to watch ESPN Ocho, which has some really goofy sports on there. Yeah, I enjoy all types of competitive nature stuff. So anything that someone's competing, I'm watching. I also enjoy to travel. I enjoy taking my family to places that they haven't been, and get a little bit of culture that's outside of what we do on a day-to-day basis. So I also enjoy doing that.